Hey, it's PHILA, and you're watching PHILA TV, the ultimate YouTube channel. I'm a cinematographer, just a dude with a camera, and look at my lucky day. I'm on my way to my friend's house, and I happen to stroll across this house where they are trimming their yuccas. And so I am going to take a handful of these cuttings, because apparently this whole bush is going to go today. So I'm going to take a bunch of these cuttings, we're going to take them home and get them propagated. And next week when I come back by here, we're going to see this completely gone. It's a sad thing, but look at the beauty of this huge yucca. That is just utterly amazing. So what had happened is I came driving by and I saw these people out here, and then I see in the back a bunch of yuccas. And you know me, I can't just walk away from yuccas, so I'm going to grab a bunch of these and we're going to take them home and we're going to do some experiments. All right, so here it is again. Let's just take another look. I mean, you can barely even get in here. And so these people are going to take all of this down. So we'll take all of this with us. I know it's pretty glareful, but anyways, PHILA TV, we're on the road, getting free yuccas. Stay tuned. I'm going to dig deep in here and grab onto this young one here and give it a pull. And you can see how easy these come off. I don't need too many, so I'm just going to grab a handful. All right, and there it is. Okay, here's a view of across the street. Look at the size of this monster. Wow, so these people are moving, so they're just trying to get their house cleaned up, so lucky me. Pretty stoked, got lots to play with. Okay, check this out. This is how many I've got. Plenty to work with. That is crazy. I can't even believe it. Got a lot of work ahead of me, but it sure is gonna be fun. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take these out to the back and strip all the leaves off of them to see exactly what we have. You can see this also has some blooms at the top, which is pretty interesting. So let's get started. Okay, so here we are. We're all set up. We've got a full day ahead of us of stripping these leaves off the yuccas. And I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to watch me do this, so I'm going to just speed it up a little bit. But before I do this, I mean, it reminds me of when I was a kid. My dad would do the same thing. He'd be finding some on the side of the street, throwing them in the back of his station wagon. Next thing you know, he's got them growing in the backyard. And it was always my job as a kid to strip each one of these leaves off. So this brings me back to my youth. So I'm going to sit here and get all these cleaned up, and you guys don't have to watch if you don't want to, but come back at the end and I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do with all of these, because they're all different kind of lengths and sizes. Some are pretty long, so I'm going to do all kinds of little fun things with them. So sit tight.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm down to my last one, so I could slow things down a bit. And, you know, I'm going to give you the reasoning why we pull these leaves off. For one, you could see this one is grown against another one, so it's all smashed. And the way you gauge on how much of this you want to strip down, what I do is I go, oh, well, this is a few different ones, so it's hard to tell. But what I do is I go to where there's no more with damage. Okay, so even if it's got a little bit on the tip, I'll go all the way to that. So if you look at this one has a bloom that grew right here, and it's branched itself out in a different direction. So if you start at the bottom and you pull directly straight down and you work your way up, of course it's impossible to do with the camera in my hand. So you want to always go to the bottom and then flip it over. And most of the time you're not going to deal with ones this big, but I'm going to do a couple of experiments on these. But these come off relatively easy if you do it the right way. And as you notice, I'm not wearing any gloves at all. And I didn't get cut, but I've also been doing this, like I said, my whole life. So I kind of know what to do. So I suggest if you're going to do this, have nice strong gloves on. To me, gloves just get in my way. So I'm going to finish pulling all this off, and we're going to see what's going on here, because you can see it's got a number of blooms that went on, and I haven't really messed with the ones that have blooms on it. So this is going to be kind of fun. So I'm going to strip this down to where there's nothing left, and maybe we'll end the video here, or maybe not. Okay, all in all, it took me about 20 minutes maybe to strip all of these yucca trees down, pull all the dead ones off. And as you can see, I didn't want to get too carried away, but I got 6 tops, and I'm going to get a bunch of bottoms out of this. And I've got a whole pile of spoils. Now, the only thing is you can't compost this down. It's really not going to do any good. I mean, if you had a shredder, you can, or a chipmunk, you could chip them up and, you know, use them in your flower beds, but unfortunately, these are just going to go into the green waste for somebody else. All right, so this is what I have to work with. These are pretty long. So I'm going to clean up my mess, and then I will be back shortly. Okay, now that I got these leaves all pulled off and it's all trimmed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these to about here. I'm going to put these in water. Best thing to do, if you pick up some of these on the side of the road and you can't do anything about them, just get them in the water, let them, you know, just get completely rehydrated, and then it'll just continue growing. Okay, so like I said, I've got 6 or 7 of these, and I'm going to trim these off to here because that could sit in a bucket. And with these, they're just going to go directly into water, and I'm going to let them start propagating themselves, as I've done with these samples. So here's from the batch that I did last time. I think it was 3 months ago now, or maybe 4. And these started out in water for the first handful of weeks, and then I put them into pots. And these I kind of want to watch it continue growing roots, so I put in gravel, and I put some sphagnum moss, and I put these in there, and I just let them grow. And as you can see, they're coming back nicely. One didn't really make it, but that's going to be okay. And then some of them I have just kept in the water, and I mean, this is 4 months. So what I do is every once in a while I just, you know, pour out my water, and you can see the roots that we have, and I keep it cleaned up. So this is not a growth that I've had just in a handful of months, which is kind of awesome. So, oh yeah, one more thing before I go, I wanted to remind everybody, in case you haven't seen my other videos, once you cut these things up, you're going to forget which way it is up. So what I do, the first thing is I'm going to go ahead and just mark some arrows so I can always remember which side is up. Okay, because I've done this last time where I had one of these upside down and it was just never rooting and never growing. I flipped it over within a week or so, so it had root. So I go ahead and mark these, so each stalk is going to have an arrow pointing toward the top. We're going to end the video here, and I want to thank everybody for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Find me on Instagram at PHILA TV channel. There's not a lot of yucca stuff going on there, but still cool. Anyways, thanks for watching PHILA TV, and we'll see you next time.